The Samsung Galaxy Z Fold 7 is now official, and we've got the first look, all of the spec confirmations, and you can even reserve for free today and receive free credit. So first up, we've got the reservation page online where you can go ahead and reserve your Z Fold 7 or your Flip 7. It's completely free to do, and all you've got to do is click the link down in the description below or the card in the top right corner now. You then just enter your name and email address and you'll receive $50 Samsung credit, 3 times Samsung reward point, and even a chance to win $5,000. So if you're even considering a fold or a flip, then I highly recommend you do this now. Next up, before we get into the reveal, we've got confirmation that the Z Fold 7 is getting that upgrade to a 200 megapixel primary camera, which has been a long awaited upgrade. And because of that, we do actually get a slightly bigger camera module than last year, but we do also get some changes to the camera rings as well. Now, as you can see, the new camera rings are more similar to the S series, and I actually much prefer this design over the Fold 6s. While the camera module is getting bigger, thankfully the overall phone design is actually much thinner than last year, and it was recently teased by Samsung, which showed just how thin it is. And then the official marketing renders have also been leaked now. While I can't show them directly because Samsung will take down my video, I've made these renders here based on them to show you exactly what it's going to look like. Another large upgrade is the center display, and thanks to improvements in the hinge and the protective screen layer, they've massively reduced the creasing in the center of the display, and it's now to the point where you can barely see it. And we've also got the improved form factor, which just makes the Fold 7 a lot more usable day to day, and the only downside is that they've dropped support for the S Pen. We do, however, get an upgrade to Qi 2 wireless charging, which is not only capable of delivering faster charging speeds, but it also supports the new magnetic alignment feature. Now next up, we've got images posted on lots of different socials of the Z Fold 7 next to the S25 Ultra, and multiple images are appearing on multiple different social platforms claiming they're live images of the Z Fold 7. Now unfortunately, these aren't actually real units, and they're simply just dummy units. They were shared by a YouTuber called The Cinza, and he does confirm that they're dummy units. Now thankfully though, I have created these 3D renders as well as the ones in hand to give you guys a good look at what the new Z Fold 7 is going to look like, and I've based all of these on the leaked marketing renders that we've seen from Android headlines to make these as accurate as possible to the real thing. Now of course, the phone is going to be launching at the Galaxy Unpacked event on the 9th of July, and as I said, you can reserve it now and you'll receive $50 Samsung credit, 3 times Samsung reward point, and even a chance to win $5,000. So if you haven't done that already, then go ahead and reserve now by clicking the link down in the description below or the card in the top right corner. But for those of you excited for the new Z Fold 7, we're now going to run through the full specs, design, and the pricing to help you guys know if it is going to be worth it. So hit subscribe now and we'll get right into it. So with the Galaxy Z Fold 7, we get an 8.2-inch foldable 120Hz AMOLED display, and it's brighter and more accurate, as well as being protected by Samsung's new ultra-thin glass that adds massive improvements to the creasing in the center of the display. We get the usual HD resolution along with some trimmed down bezels and a full screen display. For the external display, it's a full-screen 6.5-inch 120Hz dynamic AMOLED display. Again, we get improvements to brightness as well as color accuracy, and it's also going to be even wider than its predecessor, which is great news to hear. The Z Fold 7 is also much slimmer than its predecessor, but unfortunately, as part of these changes, we no longer get the S Pen support. When it comes to cameras, we get a 10 megapixel punch-hole selfie camera on the front, along with a 4 megapixel camera on the internal display. And then over on the rear, it's a triple camera setup with a 200 megapixel primary camera, a 12 megapixel ultra-wide camera, and then a 10 megapixel telephoto with 3 times optical zoom, so it's great that we finally see a better primary camera. Now it's going to be powered by the Snapdragon 8 Elite, although they may actually use the 7-core version for better thermal performance, and it's coming with 16GB of RAM and up to 1TB of storage, which will be UFS 4. It's coming with a 4400 mAh battery, and unfortunately there's going to be no upgrades to the fast charging, but we will see wireless and reverse wireless charging. And we're getting 5G, Bluetooth 5.4, Wi-Fi 7 and NFC support, and the phone is going to ship with One UI 7 based on Android 15. The phone is launching on the 9th of July, and it's expected to start from around $1,900, and it's going to be around £1,800 for the UK. So overall, it's great to see such a refined upgrade from Samsung, and one that has some popular and well thought out changes rather than just changing things for the sake of it. We've got a better and stronger display with less creasing. We've got a thinner phone overall and a much better form factor, and even a 200 megapixel camera for improvements to both photo and video. Now, of course, there's also plenty of upgrades in software and hardware, and the new Snapdragon chip allows the phone to perform much better than last year, and I think the Galaxy Z Fold 7 is really shaping up to be the perfect folding phone. Now, of course, launch is only around the corner, but I'll be updating you guys as soon as we hear anything else, so make sure you subscribe so you don't miss a thing in the future.